This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil prices extended losses on Tuesday on profit-taking and a stronger U.S. dollar, but overall optimism about recovering demand kept a floor under prices. Brent crude was down 37 cents, or 0.5%, at $71.12 a barrel by 13:35 GMT, after declining 0.6% on Monday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate oil was off by 27 cents, or 0.4%, at $68.96 a barrel, having dropped by 0.6% in the previous session. A previous price surge that was probably premature, coupled with a stronger U.S. dollar and a correction on the stock markets, are weighing on oil prices, Commerzbank said.
Argentine grains exports, the country's top source of foreign currency, were bogged down on Tuesday by a 7-hour strike by customs officers pressing for access to COVID-19 vaccines, the latest in a series of work stoppages tied to the inoculation program. Vaccine distribution has been slow in Argentina, prompting port workers to go on strike to pressure the government into designating them as essential workers entitled to inoculations. It is affecting all import and export operations, Guillermo Wade, manager of the Chamber of Port and Maritime Activities, told Reuters.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
The U.S. Energy Information Administration on Tuesday cut its 2021 world oil demand growth forecast by 10,000 barrels per day to 5.41 million barrels of oil per day. In its monthly forecast, the agency cut its oil demand growth estimate for 2022 by 90,000 barrels of oil per day to 3.64 million barrels of oil per day.
Thermal coal prices across Asia have surged to multi-year highs amid strong demand and some supply constraints, but some types of the fuel have done better than others. The headline-grabbing rally has been for high-quality Australian thermal coal. The weekly index for 6,000 kilocalorie per kilogram, coal at Newcastle Port, as assessed by commodity price reporting agency Argus, hit $121.40 a ton in the 7 days to June 4. This was the highest in more than a decade. This grade has now climbed 49% since the end of last year, and 162% from its 2020 low of $46.37 a ton in September, reached amid the economic fallout from coronavirus lockdowns across Asia. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. The London Metal Exchange has abandoned proposals to close its open outcry trading floor, the last such venue in Europe, it said on Tuesday, but added it believes electronic trading is the future. The floor was closed in March 2020 for the first time since World War II to allow for social distancing needed to deal with COVID-19, silencing its red ring of seats and the theater of arcane hand signals and frenzied shouting by traders. In January, the world's oldest and biggest marketplace for industrial metals launched a consultation process on closing its open outcry trading floor, arguing that the forced migration to digital trading was a success.
From the shores of Indonesia's Bangka Island, miners like Hendra head out by boat every day to scores of crudely built wooden pontoons dotted off the coast that are equipped to dredge the seabed for lucrative deposits of tin ore. Indonesia is the world's biggest exporter of tin used in everything from food packaging to electronics and now green technologies. But deposits in the mining hub of Bangka Belitung have been heavily exploited on land, leaving parts of the islands off the southeast coast of Sumatra Island resembling a lunar landscape with vast craters and highly acidic, turquoise lakes. Miners are instead turning to the sea.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Winter barley production in France is expected to rebound sharply this year on the back of above-average yields, but the rapeseed crop is seen shrinking to a 20-year low after a decline in area, the Farm Ministry said on Tuesday. In its first production forecasts for 2021, the ministry projected the winter barley crop at 7.74 million tons, up 19.3% from last year though 6.4% below the average of the past 5 years. The rise in production in the upcoming harvest would be mainly due to an anticipated rise in yield to 6.41 tons per hectare, t per hectare, from 5.52 t per hectare in 2020, surpassing the 5-year average, the ministry said. That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.